6 months, one year, and then things turned totally. And I became the best or the go-to person. I will not say best, but the go-to person in the organization for the Excel problems from top to bottom. Okay, but let's understand what like the problem is that none of you are able to work with Excel. So problem is not your knowledge. You are not bad at Excel. It's just that you are outdated. Excel is evolving. People may be saying that AI, what will AI do and all. Guys, Microsoft is also evolving its product. If AI is there in the world, it is bringing AI into its products. So you don't need to worry about whether I will be using Excel down the line after 2-3 years or not, or Power BI I will be using or not. Those tools are also getting updated. So do not worry, this is the tool which is roughly used by 1.2 billion users in the world. 1.2 billion users. Microsoft Office is being used by 1.2 billion. And out of that, roughly, it is estimated 750 million users are using Excel. Right? So, you need to upgrade your knowledge with time. As I said, 15-20 years which people have spent, and now they are not aware of some new things which can make their work easy. That is the idea to improve. Okay? Otherwise, and why you were not able to upgrade? Why you were not able to upgrade? Because things kept coming, and nobody told you to upgrade. And whatever you were doing, that was helping you to get the work done. And getting the work done was the first priority, not how fast it is done. Okay? Not how fast it was done. Okay, so let's start with the evolution of the Excel. Since I am tracking, okay, I don't know the past, but let's say if this is the timeline, if this is the timeline, here these are the different years at which Excel has done a major change. So that's 2010. In 2010, Power Pivot was inserted in Excel. No pivot tables were there, Power Pivot came. In 2013, okay, in 2011, Office 365 was launched. We are knowing about Office 365 now, but it was launched in 2011. 2013, Power Query was launched, which helped in data cleaning. Then this thing came inside the Excel. Earlier, these two things were as an external add-in. 2016, they came inside the Excel. Default. Okay, and some new charts were inserted. Then came in 2020. 2020, I would say that in terms of formulas, that was a game changer. Okay, no new formulas were inserted, but there was a concept of dynamic arrays which was introduced in Excel, and that changed the game of how to write formulas. Okay, array formulas especially. Array means the formulas which can give results more than one cell. Okay, and then from 2021 onwards, they are doing regular updates. We are not able to track it, but yes, there are so many interesting things which are happening. Regular expressions in Excel. So many new things are coming in Excel, and new formulas have been constantly getting added. Okay, so that is how I have been monitoring Excel for last roughly 14 years, because I started noticing it in 2011. Okay, now why most people never upgrade? As I said, nobody forces them. Nobody forces them. They need to submit a report. They do it one way or other. There is no guidance at the workplace. Okay, for me also it was not there, but I was having some inspirations from my college. That's why I got deeper into it. Otherwise, I was having a teammate, and he used to do the way we were doing manually. But then parallelly, I was finding a newer way to do that, and that helped me. It was slow process, but that helped me. Okay, so and the corporate trainings, the organizations who are conducting some trainings, but they are doing it for the sake of doing it. Most of the corporate trainings happens in Q4 when the budgets are about to finish, so they need to utilize the budget. And for Excel training, they will say, okay, 2 days, maybe 3 days at the max. And those traders also, they don't allow employees to get free to learn. Okay, they will give them work so that they are distracted in during the trainings. So it is someone else's KRA, not your training objective. That's why you don't learn too much in the trainings. Right? I went to sessions. There people came to like roam around in sessions for Excel training, not learning Excel. Okay, and corporate was okay for that. So they just needed to spend some money, not learning. Learning was not the objective. That is the reality. Okay. Now let us understand how to save 250 hours of the work, and it's not just about the time. It's about your visibility in the organization. If you start doing things in a proper manner, then you will get visible. Okay. Many people consider Excel just as a technical skill because it is always there. You don't feel the need to learn. But if you are spending a lot of time with something, be it a technical tool, be it a human, then you need to give value to that particular tool. Okay, that should be important. You should know how and what are the capabilities of that particular thing if you are spending a lot of time with that thing. Some demo so that you can understand what is happening in Excel. So I will open some Excel file. Let me open Excel file, and meanwhile I can give you, of you can utilize it. I'm sharing the Excel file with you. Okay. Wait a minute. And I will start with one of your favorite function, VLOOKUP. How many of you have used VLOOKUP in the Excel? Put it in the chat. VL, if you know how to use VLOOKUP, or if you don't know also, then also look at that. Have used VLOOKUP. By the way, that was the function which took me, which the absence of this function's knowledge took me 3.5 days. Used. Okay. Now, I will be very fast in writing this VLOOKUP function here, that this is the data set which we are having, and there is a salesperson whose sales we are looking for. And here are the sales. We can easily find. Romil is one of my friends, so I took his name. Okay, and 31,000 is the sales. How do you do? You write a VLOOKUP formula, VLOOKUP, and then we are finding this person. Where we are finding? Maybe in this range. Right? Or in this range. We mentioned the whole area because we need to get results out of it also, right? In this range. Then which column will give us the sales? The second column. Comma, what kind of match? We will match it exactly. Okay, because we want Romil, not someone else. So exact match. That much maybe everyone understands. Any questions so far in this part? That Romil is having 31,000 of sales, it's working. But VLOOKUP is having a limitation. VLOOKUP always looks for things on the right side from this direction to this direction. So if you were given something like this, you cannot find it. And that's where XLOOKUP function will help you. XLOOKUP function will help you. Yes, Smita, I have shared the file in the chat. Here it is again. Okay. Now, how to solve this problem? So this problem is getting solved by XLOOKUP. How it works? It doesn't ask for which column you want the results, okay, numerically. So here, XLOOKUP function I am writing. I am again finding Romil. And here, where you can find Romil, I simply mention this list, comma, the range where you can find, I am giving just one column, not the full area, full table. Okay? And then, return array, what do you want in return? What should I do? What should I select? Can anyone tell me over here? what should I select? I will select this range, not C3, column C, the range in the C column, and enter. So the number of components which are written over here is what you are finding, where you are finding, and from where do you want to get the results. So that also gives me the same result. Now the problem which VLOOKUP is not able to solve, which XLOOKUP is able to solve is this, right? If sales is given, who is that person? That was not VLOOKUP's job. So here also XLOOKUP I can type XLOOKUP, and I will say that look for here. So first XLOOKUP, this cell, look in this range, find in this range, but the result should be given from here, and it gives me the result. So those who have not used XLOOKUP, start using XLOOKUP. Okay, now this much is known to many people because XLOOKUP is not a new function. It is 2019 or 2020 like it started. Now, what if someone says, can you give me the sales and the margin for that particular person, Roman? Here what you will do? What formula you will write? Here what will you do? I want not only sales. So I will again write one more VLOOKUP formula, one more XLOOKUP formula. Right? What should I do? That's where the concept of dynamic array comes in. Dynamic array means here the result which I was getting, I can say give me the result up to E11. That means all those three columns should be the returning results. And when I press enter, look at this. One single formula, I wrote it over here only. One single formula is giving me three results. So now, same things, and many of you are aware of VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. But how many of you are aware of this dynamic array concept, that it can give results in the nearby cells through the one single formula itself? Type me in the chat if this is new for you. Type me in the chat if this is new for you. And you will be surprised that your VLOOKUP has also not stayed like that old traditional formula. Here currently I am saying, give me the second column. Give me the second column. Here I can say, VLOOKUP, can you give me second column, comma, can you also give me fourth column? Exactly. And when I press enter over here, I think, yeah, this extra comma is there. When I press enter, look at this. My VLOOKUP also is able to give me more, which was not possible. Earlier we were doing 10 VLOOKUPs or 15 VLOOKUPs whenever we were trying to find the missing values from the other places. So that's the modern part. Same things, but they have more capabilities now. I hope you understand. And then there is other functions which, no, someone mentioned here, someone mentioned that XLOOKUP is the equivalent of index and match. So does that mean that index and match have lost its uses? Does that mean that index and match are never useful or VLOOKUP is never useful? Think of it. Here you need to type a range, and here you will type a number, and you can generate numbers through the calculations, logics, multiplications. So manipulating the data, someone used, I guess, I don't know the name, someone used the word manipulation. So manipulating numbers is so easy, manipulating a range is very difficult because it is a text thing. So VLOOKUPs and index and match can also be more powerful because they are dependent on numbers. XLOOKUP is simple to use, it is powerful, but it is difficult to modify because it is dependent on the range, physical range. And if I want to switch range from second column to fifth column to 10th column, then maybe index match and VLOOKUP will be more useful rather than the XLOOKUP. So when you are looking for dynamic interactive dashboards, then I depend more on the VLOOKUP or index match rather than the XLOOKUP. Why I wrote false? Because I want to find this Roman person exactly, not anyone else, not any similar names. Okay, false means exact. Here, false means exact match. So I am looking for exact match, and many people write zero also in that place. Okay, zero also means false. False means exact. Clear? Good. So that was XLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, and now there is another function, a couple of more functions which can like eliminate the role of XLOOKUP also. Okay, that can eliminate the role of XLOOKUP. So bye bye VLOOKUP you might have seen in so many YouTube videos. Bye bye XLOOKUP also is there now. VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index match, all three eliminated. XLOOKUP also. Okay. Anyways, in fact, let me give you one more example of VLOOKUP. Okay, here I am having a simple data set. I am having some employee numbers. Excel sheet is not same. The sheets may be here and there, but it is the same sheet. Okay, it is the same sheet. Don't worry. I'll watch my screen. Understand the modern part. Okay, don't try to get into the practice part. Understand. Prepare notes. That way you will be able to get more things. Okay. So here, because this is not a learning session, this is an awareness session first. Okay. Look at this. I'm having some employee codes, and in the next sheet, I'm having some data based on the employee codes, first name, last name, designation, bank name, account number. These things are possible for me, right? VLOOKUP problem or XLOOKUP problem. Fair? Let's try to do one of it. Okay? One problem I am trying to solve it. And this will be used using the normal traditional VLOOKUP. So I am writing a formula equal VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, please find this person. Okay, fine. Where can you find it? I want to find it in the next sheet, this range. Okay. What is the resulting column? What is the numeric position of the resulting column? I want to find the first name. So it is the second position, comma, false or zero, right? Enter. What do I get? I do not get any result. And here is a glimpse of that data. What is the issue? We are finding this in this kind of data. What is the issue? What do you feel? Why it's not working? Why it's not working? Because here it's employee code with the E and then some numeric part. And here someone also said E is common. Why should I type it again and again? So let me save that time. And 001, 002, that's how he has written the code. So what we can do, we need to modify the formula a little bit. We need to modify the formula a little bit. Like I can say, if you are going to find A4, you will never be able to find it. But can you find the right 3 characters of A4? You will be able to find it. Right? Yes, Baldev, that's correct. It's not the wrong cell, it's the matching thing. Now what many people will do, they will go here and type E before the text. Maybe another column they will generate and then they will do. But a simple modification in your formula can still do this job. Now let me show you one more thing. Next one. Okay. We want to look for designation. So I am writing a formula. VLOOKUP. This designation is in the second set of data. I'm going there. That's the second set. Comma. 2 column. Comma. 0. Okay, anyway, this formula is not complete because I forgot the first portion. So let's select this cell, comma. So it is the same formula. So it is able to get some of them, but not all of them. What is the reason? Now focus on this data. Why it's not working? Because this time the person who was managing the data, he thought, okay, these are executive peoples, these are senior peoples, these are mid-level peoples. Okay, so let me put that prefix before the employee code. He is having some logic, but that logic is creating issue for us. And here we all have employees. Okay, but the main thing is the last three digits. So even if you go for last three digits over here, write A3, 4, you might have known this function, write function. Now, A3, sorry, not A3, A4, 4, and enter. Something is wrong or what? A4, that's correct. This is correct. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. No, this is the data is looking. Let me type it again. We look up this cell, comma. That's the range. F and G, comma, column 2, comma, 0. And we said some of them are working. And here I am writing, write 3 characters for A3. Now what it happened, because we thought the last 3 are common, and we extracted the last 3 characters only. But when we did that, the ones which were matching, the E ones, they are also not working. They are also not working because now it is totally not matching. Here it is 4 digits and there you are matching only 3 digits. Write 3 characters. What we can do now? Anyone who can answer this? Anyone who has done this kind of problem? Can you fix this without changing your original data? This data. Those who are saying approximate match, never use approximate match in your text scenario. Now, let me show you something, a simple thing. Okay. I will write percentage and. Okay. Percentage and let's see if it works. It is not working. What was the other character other than the percentage? Hash or star, yeah. Not percentage, I need to use star, correct. Okay, my keyboard is a little bit different, that's why. Look at the result. I have just modified by placing a character before my previous formula and it is able to find each and everything. Look at this. Geeta, E025. E02525 senior executive. Geeta is senior executive. Now, do you know how it is working? Anyone? Putting 1 is the most dangerous thing which you can do. Because approximation for you, approximation for me, approximation for third person, everyone thinks differently in terms of approximation. But here I have specified that you need to find exactly what? 3 characters, but there are 4 characters on the other side. So what I have done, I have said that there can be something before the 3 characters and that something is represented by this star which is known as a wild card. So this is a wild card. This can mean E, it can mean M, it can mean S, it can mean G, H, M, I don't know. But you ignore that part, focus on the right 3. If you find the right 3 at the ending side, then give me the matching part, matching values. Amazing, right? Otherwise, normally people will say, okay, let me remove the first character and create new column with only 3 characters and then I will do the formula. Here also I will create one more column and 3 characters and now it's matching perfectly. But how many times you will create a new column if you have one different scenario over here, another different scenario over here and one more scenario over here? How many times you will keep on adding new columns? Changing data will invite some work. And more the work you do, more errors you will commit. More errors you will commit. Right? Now, let's see this data set. Okay. If this is my quarter, if my financial year is Jan to December, if my financial year is Jan to December, and if this is my quarter, like Jan to March, quarter 1, Q2, Q3, Q4, sometimes we need to write a formula for this. And there is no inbuilt formula in Excel. So people write nested if formulas. If it is less than 4, then something. Okay, if it is more than less than 7, then something. Okay, like that. So they may write formula something like this. If my month number is less than 4, then please give me Q1. Otherwise, there are so many possibilities. No problem. I will write if again. If my month number is less than 7, which is July. So if it is before July, then it will be my Q2. I'm talking about Jan to December. Again, there are multiple possibilities. So I'm again writing if my month number is less than October, then it should be Q3. Otherwise Q4. That's the final possibility which I am left with. And I need to close it multiple times. Press enter and that gives me correct result. Now as soon as my financial year changes, like for India, they start in April. Some companies start in July also. So my Q1, Q2, Q3, they will change and you need to change the formula. You need to reverse the situations or write the formula differently. What can be the improvement for this formula? Anyone? Anything which Excel has done recently? You can use ifs. You can use ifs. Yeah, this is also if then else. Ranjit, this the one which I have written, that is also if then else. Ifs is also the if then else, but I have written 3 if functions. Nowadays there is a function known as ifs. That means multiple times ifs. So whatever brackets and all I was opening again and again, this if, okay, that is reduced because of that ifs. So that's the modern part. Okay, so quarter you can calculate in one way or other. But what if I tell you that I can, watch my screen, I can write quarter like this, F M maybe, that's a function which I have created, and it doesn't even require the month number from the date which needs to be extracted before creating the quarter. I am saying give me the date and give me the starting month of your year. Let's say my starting month is 4th month. Press enter. Look at this. Can you imagine a formula like this to create the previous formula? Now this is possible because of modern Excel. This is possible because I have written a formula and anyone can write it. I have written a formula so that I don't need to write it again and again because this thing will be required for me in different sheets. Why should I write a very lengthy formula, maybe this formula, maybe the previous one, again and again? Why can't it be based on my date and when my financial year starts? Why can't it be based on that part? FM is for financial month or financial quarter, like I just name it. That is a customized name which I have given. And this name is written, okay, before that, let me also show you one more situation and then I will talk about this. Look at this formula. Some people mentioned index and match, right? Index match. And index match rule is, let me show you. Index match rule is that index is, guys, you give me one data, that's my data. You give me one data and you tell me a position, a row number. Let's say I'm looking for Jennifer. Jennifer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is the row number for Jennifer. What is the column number? I'm looking for column D. D means D product. So that is the fifth column. So 5 is the column number. And that gives me my formula, my result. Now it is in a scenario. This is a very small data set. We were able to navigate and tell 5 and 8 positions for that particular thing. But if you were aware of those positions, then we could have very well found that value itself. The purpose of the formula is that when this is 100,000 lines or maybe 5,000 lines and maybe 30 columns, then how will you do? You will not know what line, row number or what column number it should have. Right? Nobody will know in that scenario. And that is the purpose of these formulas. So that's why you have something known as match function. Match function says match function can give you the position. What you are looking for? You are looking for Jennifer. Where are you looking for? I am looking for Jennifer in the names of these people. What kind of match? I want exact match. Close the bracket. And even if I press enter, look at this, it is still working because this is giving what I found manually. It is giving 8. Look at this, it is giving 8 as the result. But why should I find this 5 also manually? I can say match function, can you find me this column D also, where in the list of all the headers of that table, in the headers of those table, and give me exact match like you did earlier, and close and enter. And now also it is giving the same result. So ultimately that's how I have written this formula. That it is giving from a particular range, matching the row number, matching the column number, and then giving the result. And people who are comfortable with Excel, they are only able to write it. But imagine equal, find value, row value, what you are finding, this, column value, what you are finding, this, and that also gives me the result. That also gives me the result because I have thought, what is common here? The common thing is this data set. Okay, and I have created some formula using something known as lambdas. Okay, lambda functions. So whatever formula I was writing, I have written the same way. It's just that now I have parameterized that particular formula, and it just requires these two inputs. They will be changing. Rest everything will remain same in different questions which I have listed in this particular sheet. And because of that, without any use of macros, earlier only macros were possible to create new functions. Now, using the simple formulas also, we can create new functions which can look very simple. Have you ever imagined this as a replacement of index and match? Could it have been found using XLOOKUP? Maybe, but you will have to write lambda formulas. Okay? In XLOOKUP, I would say not XLOOKUP, because XLOOKUP, how will you shuffle from column D to column this one to column this one? Because that is changeable. Here I can go for C. Here I can go for B. Okay? And the result change. Here I can go for another person. So XLOOKUP will not be able to move its range so quickly. Right? So that's the modern part of Excel. Now let's talk about a little bit about data cleaning side. Okay? Data cleaning can be as simple as this. Data cleaning can be as simple as this. What is the text before the hyphen and what is the text after the hyphen? Which function do you think should be used over here? So you are writing your own formula in lambda and that works in modern Excel. Yes. Modern Excel has given you functionalities which allows you to write the formula once in your sheet, and then that can be used with simple parameters, simple input values. So I don't need to break again and again in my head where to put the comma, where to put the brackets, what to do. Okay, select the range again and again. Okay, that can create a serious issue because I am doing it manually, right? No matter who I am human and I am bound to commit mistakes. So once it is done properly, why should I do it again? Why can't we write the formula like this? Okay, I was talking about this. What functions comes to your mind to calculate the initial part of this text and to calculate the ending part of this text? Text is split. Extract, there is no function, Smita. Okay, so be more specific, little more functions. Left function, yes, we can do. Mid function, text to columns, we can do maybe. Okay. Now Tariq is saying something which is new. Tariq Azim. So here I used to do it something like this. Okay. Equal left of this cell. How many? 3 characters. And enter. And it was working for this. It was not working for this. So here I need 4. So I need to find the hyphen first. And then I will do. I can use text to column, but a text to column is not dynamic, it is static. Once done, if the data changes, you will have to execute it again. And here, there is something which we can do, which has come maybe, I think 2020 or 2023, it came. There is a simple function known as text before. Which text? This. Before what? Hyphen. Enter. Similarly, there is a function known as text after. Which text? This. Before or after what? Hyphen. Enter. So simple. Earlier we need to find it first and then we need to plug it into mid function or right function or left function. But these functions have solved your life so easily. Now, there have been maybe another 10 functions which have been inserted in 2023 related to text category, which can change your way of working totally and for better. Right? Data cleaning side, we were talking about it. Let's understand this part. Okay. Here I am having a particular cell. Here I am having a particular cell. And then I need to find the website over here. What I can use? I need to find the website over here. What I can use over here? Simplest thing which comes to your mind. Tell me that part. Text before. Amazing. So text before we can use flash fill. So text before we have seen, right? What about Riyadh? What will you do for Riyadh, the city? What will you do for Riyadh, Cairo, Khobar, Mumbai? So you will have to combine multiple things, right? What if I do something like this? I can say that take this data, copy and paste. Right? Many of you are doing it one by one. Take this data, copy and paste. Right? But then you will get bored and frustrated so quickly. After this, what I will do? Control E. Look at this. I did it twice to tell Excel to understand the pattern, and then flash fill is doing my job for all of them. Formulas were good, but there is much simpler than that also something. It's simpler than the text before, text after, because for getting the city, it might be a little difficult. So here, if I am typing something like Riyadh for city, and here I am typing something like again Riyadh, so copy Riyadh one more time, and here Dhahran, 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 Control E. Look at this, it gives me the city also. Even if I use text before, text after multiple times, I will have to use to get the city. This is available in Excel since 2013, guys. Only problem with this method. How many of you were aware of flash fills type FF? Flash fill FF in the chat. If you are aware of that, okay, not me. Then I was aware, Shwati was aware. No, let's take this away. Because the problem here is, even if this is so simple, if tomorrow this website changes, for some reason they move to some website like DataSense. They move to some website like DataSense. The result is not changing. Maybe city is Dubai. Maybe. It is not changing. Right? So it's simple, but it's like text to columns. It's static. What do I tell you? That, let me make a copy of this. What do I tell you? That we can go and use Power Query to manipulate this data. We can go and use Power Query to manipulate this data, and within the Power Query, I can get these results. How? I can use the concept of flash fill. So I can say add a column. What kind of column? Columns from example. What is the result over here? The result should be DataSense. Automatically, look at this, it is extracted. Did I tell any formula? No. I just did what I was doing in normal Excel. But I did this in Power Query, which is a new tool for many of you. I am saying click OK, no problem, and that's my website. And enter. And now, what's this? I am closing and loading, and it's giving me the result of the company. But when it's dynamic or not, watch this. I'm going here, and here, rather than Almarai, maybe it is something like Amazon. I need to go over here, just right click and refresh. What is happening? My cursor is quite big, that's why. Refresh. Where is that? Refresh. Wait. Yeah. Refresh. Did I save it or not? Oh, I use this. Okay, I use a different cell, that's why. So here I will change Almarai to something like ABC. Okay. I'm just changing the website. And here, rather than Sabic, I'm using something like Amazon. So I was using a different cell, that's why it was not working. I go to the result, right click, refresh, and look at this, abc.com, amazon.com, automatically done. I have not applied any formulas, but it is live. It is not taking my brain to write these formulas. How many of you were aware of Power Query and using Power Query to this particular problem? You might have used Power Query sometimes. Understand the situation. One more scenario. Here I am having the reviews. And someone wants to know how many reviews are there. So to add, I need to add all the numbers. Oh, until here it was fine. 978 reviews. But then I need to add 1600, 1.6k. And k is not a number. So when I select this cell also, it still remains 978. Power Query. How Power Query can help you? Let's go inside Power Query one more time. That's my Power Query window because that is used for data cleaning. I will say this text, first let's make it a simple lowercase. Then I will say, can you please replace the k part with 00. So then it became 1.600. And then I will say, can you also please replace this dot with nothing? That's one of the way. I'm going very simple. Find and replace, find and replace. That's how you will be doing it, right? In normal Excel. I'm doing it in Power BI, Power Query, and I say that these are the numbers. Close and apply. Look at the results now. They are all addable. And as soon as this data changes something, let's say this is not 173, it became something like 2.5K. And when we refresh this particular part, it becomes 2500. So a lot of complex formulas which could have been written, but I don't need to go for that. I just need to know the right tools so that my job is done in the shortest possible time and without any complex part to write it, to get it done. How many of you are not using PQ? Power Query? How many of you are not using Power Query? Type PQ in the chat. Imagine Power Query is 13-year-old tool. 13-year-old tool. So Power Query in Power BI or in Excel? Power Query is in Power BI as well as in Excel. It came in Excel first, then it was like then the Power BI was introduced. Start using Power Query in Excel itself. Power BI, yes, that's the mandatory part, but in Excel we skip that part. We skip that part. Okay. Now